Lesson 3, Exercise 1. Dawn Unger is saving for a trip to Australia in 5 years. She plans to deposit $750 into her savings account at the end of each 6-month period. The account earns 3.2% interest compounded semi-annually, and we want to know how much money she will have at the end of 5 years. So we're going to use the spreadsheet from Exercise 1, and we're going to set up a spreadsheet to see how much each of the 10 investments of $750 is going to earn her after 5 years. So the first thing we're going to do is just place our values from our question into these green boxes. So the annuity is how much she's going to invest for each period. And in this case, it's going to be the $750. The interest rate is 3.2% per year. And the number of periods is 2 because she's collecting interest every 6 months, and the interest is semi-annually. Now, we want to fill in our spreadsheet over here. So for our annuity, when we're using a spreadsheet, if we do need to make a change, we only want to make it in one place. So all our changes that we want to make are going to be in these green boxes. So even though annuity is going to be $750 for each box, and we can just type in $750 for each one, I would rather put in the value that's in B1. So I'm going to put in for my formula equals, and because I always want it B1, so I always want it B1, and relative to where it's going to be. It's not changing relative to where it is in the spreadsheet, so I want to lock it. So I'm going to go number B, number 1. And when I press enter, the 750 should show up. Now I want to complete that entire column, so I'm just going to fill down. And you can see that at the end of each period, our annuity is going to be $750. Now our first annuity of $750, it's being put in at the end of the first 6-month period. So it's only going to be sitting in the account for 4.5 years or 9 periods. Our second one is going to be put in at the end of the second period, so the end of the first year, and it's going to sit in for 8 years. And each one of these investments are going to sit in one less period than the one above it. So I'm just going to plug in the numbers for the number of periods invested. Now here's our big formula, our future value. And we're going to use our compound interest formula that we developed in the first unit, in the first lesson. A equals P bracket 1 plus the interest raised to the power of the number of periods. This formula is in your notes and you can take a closer look at it there. So for our formula, we start with our investment, and our investment is the number that's sitting in E2, and it's going to change relative to the position. So we don't need to put the lock on it. We just have to go equals E2, and then we're going to multiply it. In our bracket, it's going to be 1 plus, and we want our interest rate per period. So it's 3.2% a year divided by 2. Now these we will lock because it's always going to be taking our number from here. Divided by, and we're dividing it by our number in this one, but again, I'm going to lock it by putting in the dollar signs. So that's always coming from that cell. Close the bracket, and then we are going to raise it to the power of the number of periods. And the number of periods are listed in this column right here. So I'm going to use this number right here. Press enter. So our investment of $750 at the end of 9 periods is going to be worth $865.18. I am going to fill those numbers down, And as you can see, the annuity is going to be in the account successively less times. And so the value at the end is going to be less and less as we move down. For our totals, we just want our sum of the numbers above. So for our total annuity, that's going to be the total number of dollars that we have invested. So in my formula bar, I'm going to put equals. I want to add the values from E2 all the way up to E11. So we have invested a total of $7,500. And in this one, it's going to equal the sum of the numbers from G2 up to G11. So our investment has, at the end of our 5 years, our investment now is worth $8,063.70.